My name is Robert Wolfe. I'm a retired lieutenant. The salmon was going into the yards in Hunters Point. So as my time was coming up, my sea duty time was running out. I met my sea duty requirement, and they were well, actually no, not really. I was still in sea duty, but they wanted to send me to. I was coming up to I could go to FTB school, which is a little more advanced systems, different torpedoes that were out there. Mark 48 torpedo was coming up, and so I went, completed that, and they were sending me off to B school to finish that. I mean, to go to B school, yeah. So it was about a 16-week school I was there. It was good. I completed B school, reassigned to the USS Greenfish, and she was in New London, and I had to go through my, my requal, and typically I finished it in like 6 weeks or something like that to finish my requals on the different sub, and the group were very, very good. I mean, they were a really good group. I mean, again, if I try to compare the three of them, still Spinnings is always dear to my heart, near and dear. Greenfish is probably the next one, okay. And I, integrated. I was very good at integrating well with the crews that I was on, and so they accepted me, and I didn't have any frictions. As I had made first class now when I made my E6 as I moved on to the USS Greenfish. Yeah. So now I was the senior fire control technician on board, and so I mean the responsibility is that you are working with while you're in port, if you have to make sure that the weapon systems are up and running appropriately. Now it's not. You're helping to make it happen. You are responsible to make sure that happens. So I had a second class working for me at the time, and so we would be working together as a crew to make sure that a group to make sure that happened. And also I would be interrelating with the civilian contractors. We had civilian contractors that would help us with our system to make sure, and they would help if we had a problem we couldn't solve. We would request their assistance, or they would come down and make modifications to the system based on, updates to the system. So I would have to be working with them to make sure that happened. So I was on her for 2 years, and the message came down, and this is right around 74, I would think, or maybe I'll get the date wrong if I say that, but because I went to 2 years of shore duty, so it'd be right around end of 73. We got the word that she was destined to be sold to the Brazilian Navy, and that they were looking for volunteers for the mobile training team. Basically stay on board and help train the Brazilians and how to do this. And so I liked the ship enough, and then I volunteered to be part of that team. And so those who volunteered, were assigned for that, and the other ones were moved on to different assignments. So we're talking maybe about a quarter of the crew stayed on board to do the transition, or the training the Brazilian Navy. That was very challenging. There were a few Brazilians. I mean, I wasn't Brazilian Portuguese speaking, and so it was we had translators, and some of the Brazilian Navy were English speaking, and they could translate. So a lot of it was done by physically walking them through the systems, showing them how to operate this, and so to teach them. So it was challenging and it was rewarding at the same time. And I actually had to do, I was on what they consider the mobile training team, and I had to resurrect a class for the Mark 106 fire control system that was on that ship, on the boat, to teach the Brazilians about this fire control system that hadn't been taught for years. I was assigned to the sub school, submarine school there in New London. I had to teach 5 Brazilians on how to use the fire control system, and what it meant and what it meant for the what it meant and how to maintain it. And they had taught that class. I mean, I think the last time they taught the class was 2 years ago, and they said, well, Professor Wolfe, up here on the second deck, there's a file cabinet up there with all the training material that we used to do. And so go up and, learn it and teach it. So I got 6 weeks to go through this, to figure out how to do this, and then, did the training for these Brazilian sailors, and they recorded me on a tape. And if I made a mistake, it's there for posterity. I don't remember them, ever having shot any of their ships, but we were able to successfully complete the training. They were so appreciative of it. It was a very good exchange. I mean, for international trade of information. So exchange of information. And I spent three months teaching them, and then transferred helped transfer that submarine over to the Brazilians. From there, I went to New London, Connecticut. I was in New London, but I was assigned to the submarine school.